Hi, welcome. In this video, we're going to work on implementing Program 7. So in the last video, I went over the instructions of Program 7. So now, please go back and review the last video because now I'm ready to get started. I'm going to download the incomplete code here. This is the code skeleton that's provided with the assignment. And I'm also going to go back here to the assignment, download the gas account balance function. Look at this. This is the input-output file. So this is the file that is going to initialize the balance to $25 at the beginning of the program, and then at the end of the program, it's going to save however much money you have left in your account. So I'm going to download this and add this to my project as well. And go back here. So I'm ready to get started. So I'm going to start Visual Studio and create a new project. So I'm going to create a new project, an empty project. I'm going to name this Program 7 Spring 2021. And I do project, add new item. I'm going to name the source code sorgente underscore prog 7.c. I believe that's the right name. The other thing that I did in preparation for this is I went ahead and I got my program 6 code and I got my program 4 code. So I don't have to retype a whole bunch of things, especially the menu options. If you didn't get program 4 done very well or program 6 done very well, I suggest that you go back and redo them before working on this assignment because it's very helpful. Each thing builds on the next thing, and it's very helpful if you go back and understand what's happening in program 4, program 5, and then program 6, because program 7, it's just using so many of the things from those previous programs. So here I am. I have downloaded. If I go to my downloads, I have the template code, Control A, Control C. So this is the template code that I've provided for you for this assignment. And I encourage you to use it. It really has a lot in there for you that you shouldn't have to go out on the internet and ask someone not affiliated with my class to write the code for you. You just need to follow the step-by-step directions that I'm giving you here. And then if you want to add things or change things or add different features, then I'm certainly happy to help you after that. But please follow my guidelines for this assignment so that you can practice using input-output parameters, functions, loops, and file processing. The next thing I need to do is I need to open up my project. So my project is on my desktop. It's called Program 7. This is my project file right here. What I want to do is I want to put the file into that. So I'm going to open up another one with my downloads, and I'm going to move this input file and output file. The gas account balance file is in the same directory as my source code. So here is my source code. Here is I do not have the debug folder yet because this is my whole project folder, but I don't have the debug folder in here because I have not compiled or built the code yet. But I just want to make sure that this gas account balance is just gasaccountbalance.txt. It's a plain text file, and inside of it, it has $25. Because we're going to initialize the balance. Instead of initializing the balance by assigning it $25, we're going to read that balance from the file. And then at the end of the program, we're going to put whatever's left over into the file. So make sure it's in the same directory as your source code. If you do that, then you're not going to run into any problems, and you'll be very happy later when you start working on your program that you've already done that step. All right, so the next thing I want to do is build my solution. And I do have an error. So if I take a look at my error, These warnings I will be fixing, but this is an error. This is the same error that I had in program 6. What's happened here is I have declared a variable called choice in main, and then I'm testing with my while loop, I'm testing the value of choice in main that has no value, because here it's just a basic variable that has not been initialized to any value. Now, if I was doing this assignment, what I would encourage you to do is to stop the video for a minute and go back and look through and understand all of these functions. We have 3 functions here from program 6. They're the same functions directly from program 6. We have some new functions. For example, the display gas prices function is not the same as it was in program 4, because in program 4, that function had an integer return type. Now it has a void return type. It does not get the selection from the user, it just displays what's available. We are using a different function for that, and we are doing it a little bit differently because in this program we have input-output parameters. And the focus of this assignment is understanding input-output parameters and functions and practicing writing code. And this code is can become very complicated if you don't stop and break it up and do one thing at a time. So we have the 3 functions from program 6, and we have display gas prices, which is just like a greeting function that displays a bunch of stuff. Then we have another new function called get the gas choice. That's going to do it with an input-output parameter. We're going to set the gallon price. We're going to take the item number and use an input-output parameter to get the price. We're going to use a function to calculate the total. And then we're going to take these functions from program 4 that force the user to add more money if they don't have enough money to make a purchase. All right, so let's get started. The first error I need to fix is this choice in main. At this point, I'm not going to worry about the balance, but I will talk about that after. So let's worry about getting this choice in main. The other thing I'm not going to implement for you is, I spelled function wrong. I tend to do that. I'm not going to help you with the greeting function. You guys by now should definitely be able to greet your user by using a greeting function. But I do need to fix this problem where my choice in main, I do not have a value for my choice in main. So how do I get a value for my choice in main? I get a value for my choice in main by using this function right here, this making a function call to view and get selection. So this function, which is called view and get selection, is going to take a character pointer as its argument. So it's the address of choice in main. So what this function does is it presents all of the choices. And in earlier programs, I think program 5, you had a character return type. Now we're using an input-output parameter just like program 6. Then I need to change it to lowercase. We already did this in program 6 as well. So this is the initialization for my loop. Make sure it's lowercase, so I only have to test 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing inside the function for the update. So this is a loop. This is a while loop. It has initialization, test, and then update. So this is the same loop from program 6, but now this view and get selection function needs to do something. If I scroll down here to my function definition, this function has not been implemented yet. So I did it backwards. I should have implemented the function and then done the function call. But lucky for me, I already did it in program 6. So I just open up my program 6 code and I can copy and paste that. So what this function does is it just displays all of those menu options asks the user to enter their option, does not put an ampersand here because this is a input-output parameter and this is a pointer. Selection pointer is a pointer. It's not a character, it's an address of a character. It's a location in memory where a character is stored. So that's the whole purpose of this assignment. Program 6 and program 7 is to practice using pointers and input-output parameters. So now this should work because this function has been, the definition has been done. There's a prototype at the top of my code that says that this function exists, and then I am calling it twice. The first time I call it is to initialize the variable called choice in main. Then I test the variable called choice in main, and then I do an update to that variable called choice in main. So now let's build it and test it. All right, so let's see what happens. So now I can enter. I enter G, I enter a B, I enter a V, enter a D, so it works. When I enter Q, it quits, and now we're ready to move on to the next step. So that's working. My view and get selection is working. I'm very happy about that. So now the next thing I want to do is the file part. So pay attention because the file part is new for this assignment. Now if I go into my directory, I have put this gas account balance file here. It has $0 in it. The reason it has $0 in it now is because I already wrote the code to write something into the file. So I need to go back in here and change this to $25 and save it. All right, so now if I look at it, it has $25 in it. Now let me show you why. Let's trace the code, play computer, and find out what happened and why it changed it to $0. So right here, I have this variable called balance, and I initialize it to $0. Then I open up the file, but I don't do anything. I don't read anything from the file. I don't do anything with the file yet because we're going to learn how to do that. And I have two file pointers. I have an in pointer that I open the file for reading, but I open the file to read from it, but I don't actually read anything from it. And then I have an out pointer, which down here, after the user hits Q to quit, I connect to the file here. I connect to the file to write to the file, and then what do? I put the balance in main that I have into the file. And what is my balance at this point in the program? The balance is $0 because right here I declared the variable to be $0, and then I didn't do anything with my balance because I'm still implementing. At the end, I have $0. And then I put $0 into my file. So let's watch again what happens. When I start out, I have this file and it has $25 in it. But then I run my program, I hit Q to quit, and when I quit, I now have $0 because I assigned the value of 0. And now, when I look in my file, it has $0. Just to show you again, what if I said balance in main equals $500? So watch what would happen. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to put $500 into my file. Quit. I now have $500 in my account. This program is just getting started. I have not implemented any of the other features of this program. So if I go and I look into my file, I have to close some of these things. If I go here on my desktop, in my project, look at my file, it now has $500. Some of you may wonder why it has 6 zeros after the decimal place. It's because when I printed into the file using fprintf, I just put %f. I didn't put %.2f. It doesn't really matter what it's like in the file because the file is just storing it in the background for the next time you want to make a purchase. All right, so now we have a whole bunch of things to do. And so what I'm going to do is comment this out so that this doesn't happen again. And then we will one by one go through the file processing part of this program. So I'm going to comment that out. I'm going to go into my project here, make sure I'm in the right project, put $25 back into this file, save it, and we will go through one by one on what to do with this file processing. So I think we will save that for the next video.